Hi, welcome to this video in which we're going to see how to write the introductory paragraph for an argumentative essay. This video corresponds to an essay type 1, stating a preference or agreeing or disagreeing. Before we get started, I would like to share with you this important note that says there are many ways to write the introductory paragraph for an argumentative essay. The paragraph structure that you will see in this video meets the essay writing standards of CBA Santa Cruz. So let's get the ball rolling with the first image. Here, as you can see, we have the main components of an introductory paragraph. The first one would be the hook or grabber, which catches the reader's attention. Then we have the second, which is the focusing. It presents the two sides, the two ideas of the argument. And finally, we have the thesis statement, which basically gives your opinion, your point of view about a particular topic. Let's continue with the next slide. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to see the different steps to write the introductory paragraph for an argumentative essay. So let's move on to the next slide. Here we have step number 1 that says read the essay prompt. The question is, what is a prompt? Well, a prompt, basically, it is a question or a statement that an essay answers. It would be like a topic, but in terms of essay writing, we call it a prompt. Here we have an example. Which one do you prefer? Eating at home or in a restaurant? Let's continue with the next slide. Here we have step number 2, in which we have to identify the task. So here we have the prompt, and here we have the 4 different tasks. The first one would be stating a preference. The second one is making an argument. The third, agreeing or disagreeing. And the last one, number 4, is giving an explanation. So these are the different tasks that we might have to identify at the moment of writing our introductory paragraph. Let's move on to the next slide. So here my prompt says, which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? As you can see, we have already chosen home, eating at home. And so in this case, we have to state a preference. The other option is eating in a restaurant. So in this type of sentence, what we have to identify is either the first or the second option. And based on that option, we are going to develop our essay writing. Let's move on to the next step, which is number 3, write the hook or grabber. What is the hook or grabber? Well, as it says here, it is the first component of the introductory paragraph. That main function is to catch the reader's attention. Let's move on to the next slide. As you can see, here we are in step number 3, write the hook or grabber. Here it says that there are 6 types of hooks or grabbers. The first one would be an unusual detail. Then we have a statistic or fact. Then we have an anecdote. Number 4 would be a question. Number 5 would be a quotation. And number 6, the last one, would be a statement. These are the possible 6 types of hooks or grabbers that we can use in order to write our first sentence, the first component of the introductory paragraph. Let's move on to the next slide. We continue in step number 3. Here we have an example of a hook or grabber. The prompt says, which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? So my hook says, in my city, eating with family or friends on weekends or holidays is quite common. So the main idea of this sentence, as we mentioned, is to catch the reader's attention, the person's interest in the topic. Let's move on to the next step, step number 4. In step number 4, we have to write the focusing. The question is, what is the focusing? Well, basically it is the sentence that presents the two sides of the argument, the two ideas, the two contrast ideas that are introduced in the introductory paragraph. Let's move on to the next image. We continue on step number 4. We have here the prompt. Which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? The hook or grabber is in my city, eating with family or friends on weekends or holidays is quite common. Now, here we have the focusing, as you can see. It says, many people enjoy a delicious barbecue at home. So my first idea, my first side of the argument is eating at home. However, others prefer to have a tasty meal in a restaurant. After home, as you can see, here we have a connector or transition word. However, the main task of this word is to join the two contrast ideas. The second idea in this case is eating in a restaurant. Now we continue with the next slide. Let's see. Step number 5, which is the last one. Here we have to write the thesis statement. What is the thesis statement? It is the sentence that states your opinion. It's the one that expresses our point of view. So now we're going to see a complete introductory paragraph. As you can see, here we have all the components in the form of a sentence. So let's start with the prompt. Which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? We start with the first sentence, with the first component, which is the hook or grabber. It says, in my city, eating with family or friends on weekends or holidays is quite common. Then we continue with the focusing, in which we present the two contrast ideas. Many people enjoy a delicious barbecue at home. However, others prefer to have a tasty meal in a restaurant. Finally, we have the thesis statement that says, I strongly believe that the best place to eat is at home. Well, this will be an example of how to write an introductory paragraph for an argumentative essay. Before we leave, I would like to share with you these other videos. All of them are related to how to write an introductory, a body, and a concluding paragraph for an argumentative essay. So please consider watching them. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourself and goodbye.